Hi, class. Welcome to week 3. Great job last week. It was awesome reading a lot of your discussion posts. I thought we had a really good discussion on the difference between paid and organic social. Hopefully, you were also able to get into the simulation and experience that a little bit. I know it's a new tool, so thank you for jumping in and diving in. And I promise it gets easier as you go throughout. Just keep trying, keep testing. Spend a little bit of time in it each week, and it'll be a great tool, and you'll learn a lot from it by the end of the semester. I wanted to just create this video and introduce you to some of the things we're going to be doing in week 3. Last week, we had our practice rounds in Mimic Social, so you did rounds 1 and 2, and then you did 3 and 4 as well to test organic versus paid. You should have used an organic round on rounds 1 and 2, and then you should have tried paid advertising on 3 and 4 and just seen the difference. So now we're going to start again back from 0. So I have requested through the Mimic team to reset all of your accounts back to round 1. They will probably do that. With today being a holiday, I'm not sure if they will get it done today, but it should be reset by Tuesday. And so now we're jumping back into the simulation. Remember, last week was just a practice. You just were testing it last week. And now this week we're going to start rounds 1 through 4 again, but it's for real this time. You're trying to generate as much revenue as you can. You're trying to generate as much engagement on your posts and grow your social audiences. And then you'll see a running comparison to how you're doing in the class. Now, I am not grading you based on how much revenue you make. Obviously, your goal should be to make as much revenue as you can and to be successful in the simulation as much as you can. But that's not what I'm grading on. I am grading on your effort. I am grading on you accessing Mimic Social and creating new content, testing new things. I want to see that you're trying something on YouTube or Instagram and then optimizing for what is successful for you. So if you see that YouTube is costing you a lot of money, but you're not really making a lot of money, then you should take those dollars away and maybe focus on a platform that is making money. Maybe Facebook ads are making a lot more for you. And so I'm looking for those kind of things. I'm looking to see that you're testing and then optimizing in the simulation. So that's what you'll be graded on. And if you have any questions, let me know. In week 3, this is one of my favorite weeks in the course. We really dive into our target markets. We look at our audiences and how to find data about them. And then we're also going to complete a SWOT analysis on another company called Herschel Bag. It's another company that is a competitor to Buoy, and you're going to look at their social media content and do a comparison. So we'll dive into that a little bit. But I also wanted to give you guys just a few tips on using the simulation. Now that you've tested it the first time, biggest tip for me, right, is focus on the channels that bring you ROI. ROI, right, return on investment. So ones that are, whatever channel you see that are bringing you sales, that are generating revenue for Buoy Bag. For the most part, I've seen this is usually going to be Facebook and Instagram, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't test other profiles. Test them. I had a student last semester actually who did a really good job using YouTube, and it did cost a little bit more in terms of advertising for him, but he also generated some more revenue because of YouTube. And so there's a balance there. Most students see the most success as they focus on Instagram and on Facebook. So focus on the channels that are bringing you revenue and then create content and keep your audiences happy that way. The other number 2, right? Always include a call to action in your post. That's what CTA stands for. If you're not asking your audience to do something in your posts, then the odds of them doing it are not as high. Now, this doesn't always have to be salesy or promotional. You don't always have to say, click here and buy now, right? That is a good example of a call to action. But another call to action is simply click here to read more about our genuine Italian leather, right? Or click here to see our latest collection of gym workout bags. Whatever it may be, include some kind of call to action to your audience to get them to do something. The posts that have this are also some of the more successful ones in the simulation. Number 3, post frequently, but don't be overbearing. If you just post once, 2 or 3 times per week, and then you run the simulation, you'll see some good results, but you won't see the best results. So it's the students who saw the best results last semester posted between 7 and 10 times per week. So not always every day on every channel, but it usually would average out to about 1 post per day per channel. But again, that's something you should test and optimize for. And then write specific content for each platform. A lot of students find it easy to just write something for Twitter and then copy and paste it, put it on Instagram, put it on Facebook, put it on YouTube, put that same content everywhere. That can work, and in some cases it's a good idea, but for the most part, remember that not all social platforms are created equal. And what works on Twitter may not work on Facebook. And the way you write something on Instagram can be a little bit longer, right? A little bit wordier. Whereas if you're going to put that same content on Twitter, you know, there's that 280 character limit restriction. Try not to copy and paste your content as much as you can. The simulation rewards you as you create unique and individual content for each platform. Diving in now to target markets, this is something that we're going to talk a lot about this week, and your readings and your assignments will really focus on this. I hope you've already had time to dive into Buoy and look at your 7 audience personas there that you have. Become very familiar with these people. These will be your best friends by the time the simulation is done, right at the end of the semester. So remember that most of Buoy's market falls into that millennial audience, 19 to 32-year-olds, right? I think it says 90% of your audience falls in that. So try to think about these people, their needs, you know, where they live, how much money they're making, what they need from a bag, how they're using social media. Ask yourself these questions here that I've listed on the left. How does my audience consume content? Are they accessing Facebook while they're standing in line at a grocery store, right? Or standing in line at work or at school? Or when are they accessing it? What does my audience need? How do I address those needs? What are the unique offerings that my product, that Buoy, can offer them? How does Buoy make their life better? One of the biggest secrets that I've learned and tips that I'll share with you in terms of writing for social media is that last bullet point that I put there, so you can. It's easy for us as social media marketers to write something about the great features of our product, or, you know, this bag is really great because it's got 7 compartments and 10 different zippers. But really, that may be cool to us because we're the product owners. But what about our audience? What does our audience want? What makes our bag, what makes our product cool to them, right? And so you can always use those 3 words, so you can, when you're writing your posts. Check out our newest bag, which features 7 different compartments, so you can hold all of your makeup accessories as you go to work, right? Or so you can store your basketball and your gym shoes and your workout clothes in one bag. Whatever it may be, that way, whenever I use those 3 words, so you can, it now takes the focus from my product and shows my audience how it benefits them. So that is just a secret. It's just some good copywriting for social media. Focus on your audience, write your content in ways that they can see how it influences and helps their life. And finally, just wanted to close on a spiritual thought. Please take the 7 minutes to watch President Gilbert's video, From Grit to Grace. It was the first devotional given for BYU Pathway Worldwide students, but it has extreme applications to us as BYU Idaho students as well. I love President Gilbert and his remarks. I've worked with him a little bit. Actually, before his time at BYU Idaho, he was the CEO of the Deseret News, which is where I was working at the time, and just a great guy. And this message he shares really is on, you know, the atonement and the things that the Savior does after all that we can do. Especially, I think it really works with us in school. I know you're busy in classes and work and have a lot of demands on your time, and it's easy to feel overwhelmed. But the Lord just expects our best effort, and then he makes up the difference as we turn to him and as we put our trust in him. He helps our weak things become strengths, and that's something that I know to be true, and I've seen it in my life. So please take a time just to watch that short video, and if you have any comments or things to share about it, just drop them in the comments here below. As well, let me know if you have any questions this week. I am always available. Send me a message through Canvas or send me an email. But looking forward to a good week. Thanks, guys.